All right, let's jump in and look at a TBS asking us to capitalize the cost of an asset and record some depreciation. So here we're being told we're going to do some journal entries, right? We're going to need some information to figure out how to do those. We're going to purchase this machine for $25,000 in cash. We're going to pay 8% sales tax on that. And we're going to pay $1,000 to install some switches for the electrician. We're going to estimate a 5-year useful life. We're going to use straight line depreciation. And we have a $2,000 salvage value. We're going to place this asset in service on October 1st. And then at the end of year 2, we're going to sell this asset for $14,000 after we've recorded depreciation. So what do we need to do? Let's look at our instructions. We're going to click a cell, select our account name. We're going to enter debits and credits. We're entering everything as positive amounts, and it's going to round, so we want to be in whole numbers. And it's telling us we may not need all of the rows. And if there's no journal entry needed, make sure that you're clicking that no entry required button. So let's start with our first one. We need to capitalize the cost of this asset, right? So record the cost of the machine here. So what do we need to do? We need to capitalize all of the costs to acquire the asset and get it in service. So for us, that's the $25,000 that we've paid for the asset. That's also the sales tax. How do we calculate that? It's going to be $25,000, the purchase price, times 8% our sales tax rate, so $2,000 in sales tax. So we're also going to capitalize that. And then we need to capitalize the cost that we've paid to the electrician, $1,000. So in total, we will capitalize $28,000 to the cost of this machine. What does that journal entry look like? So now we're going to record our journal entry. We need to capitalize this to an asset that's going to need a debit balance. So we're going to select here our machinery. And we're capitalizing this at $28,000. And then we were told that we paid cash for this asset. Cash is going out, so that's going to get the credit. So we'll select cash and a credit of $28,000. What do we want to do next? Now we're being asked to determine or calculate the depreciation expense for year 1. How do we do this? So we're going to start with our capitalized cost, $28,000. We want to spread that out over some period of time. We do need, though, our salvage value, $2,000. So we will subtract out $2,000, our salvage value, and we're going to spread this out over the 5-year useful life. So divide by 5 years. And that's going to give us $5,200 as our annual depreciation expense. What happened here, though? We placed this in service on October 1st, so we really just want October, November, December, 3 months of depreciation. So $5,200, a full year's worth of depreciation, times 3 over 12 for the portion of the year where it was actually in use, and we'll get $1,300. So we want to record depreciation expense for $1,300 for this year. What does this journal entry look like? So we're going to record depreciation expense. Our expenses get recorded with a debit, so we'll do that one first. Depreciation expense, $1,300. And then we need accumulated depreciation, a contra asset account. So it's got the opposite balance, so we're going to record that with a credit, our accumulated depreciation. And we've recorded depreciation for year 1. What do we need to do next? Next, we're being asked to record the journal entry for the sale of the machine. Let's see what information we've been provided. We were told that we sold it for $14,000 of cash the last day of the year after we recorded depreciation expense for year 2. So what does that mean? Here we did year 1, $1,300. Year 2 needs to be a full year's worth of depreciation, and we've already calculated that. So we'll use 5,200. So in total, we have 1,300 in depreciation from year one, $5,200 of depreciation in year two. So in total, we have $6,500 of depreciation, all sitting in that accumulated depreciation account. So what do we need to do? We need to record our journal entry to record this sale. So what should that look like? I like to record the cash piece first, right? Cash is coming in. That's going to be a debit. That's the easy part. So cash, and they've paid us $14,000. What else needs to happen? This machine is still on the books at $28,000, the full cost that we capitalized, right? We've been using that accumulated depreciation account. So it's an asset. We recorded it at $28,000. We now need to record a credit of $28,000 to get that asset off the books. So let's do machinery for $28,000. What should we do next? It's that accumulated depreciation we also need to get off the books, right? Once we sell this asset, we don't have it, and we don't have the accumulated depreciation. Again, that was a contra asset, so it currently has a credit balance. So we will debit that account for $6,500. So now we have the cash coming in, we have the machinery off the books, and we've gotten the associated accumulated depreciation off the books as well. What's wrong here, though? Our debits aren't equal to credits, so we're going to need something to make those balance. We have $28,000 in credits, and we have $20,500 of debits. So we're going to need here an additional debit of $7,500. What do we call this account? This is going to be a loss on the sale of this equipment, right? Losses move in the same direction as our expenses. So we're going to have a loss on the sale of our machinery here. So there's our journal entry to record that sale. Cash coming in, getting the asset off of the books, getting the accumulated depreciation off the books, and plugging with a loss or a gain on the sale of that asset. All right, so we're going to hit submit and see if we got the correct answer. And we did. Now, what should we notice here? This asked us for 3 journal entries that we've been doing essentially since Principles of Accounting. So we should be able to get a TBS like this done much faster than, say, the 15-ish minutes you're allotting for a TBS. So really work hard to be able to do a question like this efficiently so that you can save time for the more challenging TBS.